Okay. Today, I was in the mood for more Civil War stuff. So I decided to read an article from the magazine because history, I believe, in is the one thing we have to respect because history people died for various reasons and have done things for various reasons, and understanding and embracing the past brings us to the future. So I'm going to go ahead and view the magazine and the article, and then I'll read it because I think it's plagiarism if you don't. All right. All right, here's the article. I hope my camera, I don't have my glasses on right now. But there's the article, and it's from here. Because I am a Civil War buff, I really like it. I don't know why. I've had a uncanny. All right. All right, hang on. Of course, my camera got go buggy. All right. All right, we're going to go with no filter. All right, now. There we go. I'm back. All right, I tried a new hairstyle. Decided to let my hair go down. I braided it. Kind of like Cousin It, but bringing my hair over more to the front. And all I did was braid it, and I left a little conditioner in it. And as it dried, it kind of did this. But I brushed it while it was wet, so I try. I'm not a Hollywood stylist, but I try. So I'm going to begin reading the article, and then when I'm done with the article, I'm just going to try to finish my brother's rug, table rug. So I'm going to put this over here. I got this insane. I thought that's good for it. Anyways, I guess we'll just have this old school like we did when you were kids, because it seems like this is the only thing that's legal. Reading a magazine. It says on October 5th, 1864, Confederates attacked the Union garrison of two forts guarding a railroad through Altanoka, Altona Pass in northern Georgia. One of the blue regiments that bore the brunt of the assault, the 39th Iowa Infantry, suffered fearful casualties. 157 of 280 men and officers engaged. The list included First Lieutenant Oliver C. Ayers. Back in the summer of 1862, Ayers left his Winterset, Iowa home and joined the 39th. 2 years later, at Altahona Pass, he and his comrades formed for battle ahead of the main Union defensive position with orders to maintain the spot at all hazards. Confederate Major General Samuel G. French sent a surrender note to Garrison's commander, and it says, I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so bad. Let's say Brigadier General John M. Corse, who declined. The Confederates attacked, and the 39th came under murderous fire. After heroic resistance, they fell back to the forts. At some point, a musket half passed through Ayer's body, killing him. He fell he fell on one knee, facing the enemy, then collapsed. Ayer's remains Ayer's remains rest in Georgia's Marietta Marietta National Cemetery. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A cenopa honoring his life stands in a cemetery in his birthplace of Trumansburg, New York. So his remains stay in Georgia, and then he has a monument in New York. That's pretty good. But I figure, might as well. And that's what I say about history. History is just wonderful. I mean, to forget about some of the trials and tribulations people had through life, I just feel it's a dishonor. Alright, now I'm getting my yarn project out. Now that we got that done. I was trying not to find an article that was so long it bored everybody. So, I'm going to start this yarn rug again. Alright, then I got my yarn needle there, so I'm going to put this back here. And then I got to start my braiding. But I guess if we're going to start with Civil War talk, which probably would be fun, I guess we would. Start with the South just not wanting to pay taxes. I mean, it was horrible they were keeping slaves, yes. I mean, slaves are. Somehow through history, there's been a lot of slavery. I don't know why humans want to do this kind of thing, but they do. And they have slaves. I guess get a slave person, you would just not want to see people in general be happy. You just, I guess, would be, yeah, you'd be a horrible person, but beyond a horrible person, in my opinion, to be doing all that. Right, I'm just literally grabbing these and counting as I go along. I'm finding this is way much better. Way much better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we got 6 here. Yeah, with this one I was doing 6 strings, so you'd multiply that. Whatever. If you want to do 6 strings, you would just count. It would be 6 times 3, so you need 18 strings, and you have to put them in separate piles at this point. That's usually what I do. And then when you do that, you hold this pile and then measure your other one. There we go. And then when you get your 1 string measured out, you can take it and just take another piece and measure that. And just repeat this whole process till you get 6. But, I mean, I know they had horrible ideals. I do. I get it. It wasn't good ideals. But, I mean, the man fought for what he believed, as we all do. So it wasn't exactly, I guess he wasn't a Union soldier, so he wasn't everyone's favorite, but there was a lot of progressive politics kind of going in there. They wanted to be their own state. And they just wanted to fight for the very freedoms or die trying. So it was a sad war because honestly, we fought against ourselves. That's what was so sad about it. It was brother against brother. Hopefully, we don't have another one of those, but you never know. I mean, those kind of wars are the saddest. At least you know if it's another country, it's out of your reach and you don't know the people you're killing. But during the Civil Wars, a lot of them knew each other. They might have had family in the South. I mean, they're trying, they're mad because they don't want to pay for taxes. They're doing slavery, and we're in the midst of all this reform. And, they were stubborn, proud people. But I guess they wanted to be free either way. I mean, you can't hate people on wanting to be free. I mean, that's what we all want. See, I'm still counting my little strings. This is what I do before this. I can't wait to start on my blanket. It's going to be wonderful. I got new yarn for it. I'm going to start me a nice, I guess we'll call it like a smaller, like a baby blanket type thing. Because, I mean, I'm not going to do a big blanket right now. That's just going to be months. But a baby blanket shouldn't take too long doing this. And then I got four. I just need some more strings. There's five. And alright. Alright. Got that here. I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna use all of this stuff here for my needle when I need it. Because there gotta be a better system. But I've been to Gettysburg. I haven't been to Virginia to see this historical event, but I mean, I would like to see it one day. I'm not gonna lie. I think it would really be cool. And I tend to like the Civil War better than the other ones. Probably because it was the most emotional war we've had. Probably that's why. There was such high emotions, and I guess it was the one war we weren't involved with anyone else. It was just us. And I mean, this happens. Civil wars happen all the time. I mean, it is what it is. You're not changing it. So that's why I look at it. Alright, now put this is when I end up losing my phone and everything else. About this time. There. Take this, put it way in here like that. Then put that 6 there. I'm almost done with this, thank God. I like to fully be done with something before I start another project. I can't, I'm one of those people that just can't not finish one project. It drives me insane. I literally cleaned all day. But let me get on our article. I mean, I do like the Confederate. I do kind of General Lee, I guess, on the Confederate side would be my favorite. I know that everybody loves Grant, but I think General Lee had such a colorful history. I mean, his brother, he went to West Point. He had ties with the Union, and he was just such a integral part of the Civil War, but he was the enemy. That's what kind of made it very exciting, this war, in a sense. I think if just that major collage of General Lee being related and stuff and having ties to the North, going to the same academies the other generals at West Point, it's usually not heard of. But this war it was. Why wars are built, a lot of people will fight for love. They're fighting for a reason. They love something or they think you're taking away some kind of personal choice and they just get angry. That's the nature. And even within our own country, they obviously the South didn't like us dip it, they didn't like the North telling them what to do. They wanted to govern themselves. They kind of, in certain parts, they still do. And is it wrong? I don't think so. I mean, there was many civilizations, but we are going for a more global peace. But will we ever achieve it? Sometimes we don't know the tradition of the territories we are, and sometimes blood is thicker than water when you go in different territories. Sometimes you're just better off just letting things be because things could backfire. You don't know the full tradition of that area if you were born and raised in another area, then you go to another area to conquer. It's kind of the problem with all like Genghis Khan and all and the Romans and everything. They go and I get it, they want territory, they got power. It's human nature, I get it. But I guess a better way of doing things, if you're going to take over territory, is not to enslave the people in it, which a lot of people through history have. Okay, I'm just going to try it. That's a real nice thick braid. I'm going to do 3 of these. Just get these over with. I mean, I get it. It's an aggressive measure to get your enemy in check. I get it. The Aztec and the Mayans did it. Everyone did it. They took their enemies, just made them slaves. The Vikings did it. I mean, it doesn't make it right. It really doesn't. And it just made everybody more angry. It really did. Sometimes just some kind of compromise of how we can coexist is a more logical choice, because do you really want to take over a harsh desert, and for what? Because we really don't own the earth. That's the thing. Everyone thinks that, I signed papers. They're not God. They don't own that building. They don't own that land. They don't own anything. I mean, the Indians had it right. Nobody really owns anything. And it's life. And sometimes I just think the Civil War is just a perfect depiction of people just forget about common decency. You got brothers fighting brothers, and at the end of that war, not to mention there was 16-year-olds fighting and getting slaughtered, and because people can't compromise, and the casualties were pretty. It was pretty good. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but they were high for that time period, and it was sad. It was because people don't know how to get along. I mean, just for the sole purpose of getting along, that's insane. People just sometimes they have to find a way. I mean, I don't particularly like everybody I talk to, but I have found a way to coexist with people. I mean, you couldn't respect them as a person and move about your business. I mean, who are you to judge? I mean, who am I to judge? I don't know. If I just don't get along with a person, I just honestly just try to not be their best friend, I guess, and move it along. Because in the end, we all need each other at some point with something. It's usually the way that goes. But, I mean, it's only my opinion. And I don't really understand war. I do, but I don't. I understand the concept, I understand the dates, and I understand things like that. But I don't understand the why. I don't understand why there couldn't try to be a compromise made at some point. And it's just, I get war is sometimes essential, but if people kind of came together a little bit, that would be nice. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I guess I'm hopeful in the world, thinking that maybe it might one day. Because honestly, if we all respected everybody's gods and everyone's beliefs and everybody's just personal space in general, it'd be a better world. And if you know a certain spot is sacred to some people and they're worshiping something, just let it be. I mean, if it's going to bother that many people, just let it go. I don't know why people got to make life so difficult about that, but they do. And it's because we feel because we went to school or we know this person or we know that person that our lives are and we are so much better, and that's not true. It's just not true at all. You know so and so because you were meant to know so and so, and that's it. And that's just how it is. Oh, good. There's a perfect cut. I mean, life is no random accident. Whoever you run into and you vibe with is there for a reason. And it might be harder in lifetime after lifetime. There might be a war or something going on, but there's all kinds of theories on that too. Then you delve into the matrix. If this circumstance didn't happen, if this person went and did this at this specific time and not this at that specific time, a different event would happen. I mean, there's all kinds of theories like that out there. And they're saying that there's no random coincidences, and we've relived one moment and made 100 different choices. I mean, that's what these quantum leaps and stuff would tell you. But whatever you choose to believe, war is not the answer. War just leads to more healing. Because after so much death, the earth itself has to heal. It really does. Because there's a lot of death, a lot of unsettled deaths. I mean, there's no peaceful death if you die in war. At that point, you're just begging for the Reaper to come clarify that you're okay and take away the pain and go out about your day. That's what is going on. And it doesn't seem there's any logic to it because no one really wins. Alright, here, now we'll start in the second row. Because that person that died was supposed to do something. The honest to God, we're supposed to do something. And they will do it. But the thing is it's going to take a different turn. Alright, and I'm going to separate 6 strings. 4, 5, and 6. I mean, just think of what would happen if there was no civil war. I mean, if there never was a civil war, would we even be the United States? I mean, I guess that could be the question of the day. Maybe in another universe where a civil war didn't happen, we might just be a total different territory. I mean, sometimes random circumstance or random wars happen for this reason. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need another one here because you want even thickness. I mean, no one stops to think about that, but sometimes maybe these wars were put in place because sometimes that's how the others do things. And then I'm just braiding these, and you gotta keep this tight over here. Just like that. But you never know. And it's the thing about life. When you think you're at your lowest, sometimes if you're meant to be in an event was supposed to happen, didn't happen, and you're at your lowest, bam, you're there. You had to wait a little bit, but you make it there. Sometimes you get delayed. Sometimes things are delayed for a reason. I mean, I like to think this, that every death, maybe like some, random events were triggered so other events could go on. A lot of times I think things like this are distractions to us because we all have a higher self. When you die, you see your higher self if you don't see your higher self at any other point. That's why near death experiences are so important because it reminds you how the universe is. And the universe can talk to you. Because whatever happened, you'll know. You don't know the answer. You know the answer is a baby. You've seen God and everything. And then the same thing you've seen when you're born, you see when you leave out. That's just the process. It really is. So I know it's a boring process, but I believe we have to honor the dead. And today we should honor that general. Because his death might have started a trigger reaction for us to be more peaceful. And the thing is, we could kind of stop these little things. Maybe a war could be stopped if we were more peaceful, and then people won't be set to die to restore balance. Everything I believe in the universe is to restore balance. In these wars, even though they sound horrific, they restore balance. It's the people that fought for the balance that should be celebrated. I mean, that's just how I am. To I have a deep respect for the dead. I really do. I know it's kind of morbid, but I do have a deep respect for the dead. And I like to read their stories because I feel the dead, if they do come back and stuff, they left a legacy, and I think it's a shame when their legacy is scorned after they died. It's sad when that happens. And I guess people don't really think about it till it's close to the end. And it's okay, I guess, whenever you think about it, but if you think about it, you wasted all that time that you could have enjoyed your life if you finally get it in the end. Because hopefully you don't get in a bad karma cycle in the next lifetime, because that would be horrible. That's another thing that happens, bad karma cycles. I mean, if it takes to your death to see what you done, in your next life you'll be making up for it. I mean, that's what I believe. You're going to be a hero, and some heroes give their life. Usually, like war heroes, probably in another lifetime did something that wasn't so heroic in one lifetime, so it spills over to the other one and they're a hero. And then the people that kind of stayed in the middle, they stay neutral. Neutral people, I guess, you should are kind of, I feel, are the strongest. Usually they're more empathic, cuz to truly stay neutral, you must have acceptance. To have true acceptance is a gift. I mean, anybody can achieve it. You just literally have to have acceptance. You got to be able to accept bad things. I mean, acceptance is the hardest thing for anybody to learn and truly accept. And it's some of the hardest lessons in life. To accept a lot of things that are crazy that happen to you does sound psychotic. But sometimes it's just how life throws at things at us. So I guess it's always good to be polite and try to do the right thing because you never know when it's going to pay off later on. Because you may, I don't know why this Chong keeps playing games with me. There we go. Trying to count all these out and one more string. I'm doing 18 on this. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't know. To me, people just. I think they just like to forget about the past, and the past is something you shouldn't dwell on, but you should learn from it. Let's say that you were madly in love with a girl, which is everybody's life story. They're madly in love with a girl or a guy. They can't eat. They're they're dying. But anyways, that's a sarcastic part of me coming out. But anyways, the when acceptance comes, something bad happens. You overreact. People that are more empathic and have acceptance and see both sides, a lot of times come out on top. Because when emotions of that magnitude, you thrive on those emotions, wow, the mistakes you can make. It's it's very hard to accept some things sometimes. It could be some of the hardest things in life to accept. But I've accepted a lot of bad truths in my life. And I really, people have came and gone. And I truly did nothing to make them go away. They just wanted, it just random circumstance and they left. But so, being more empathic and stuff, I have acceptance. I'm sad some days, but I keep an overall acceptance of the world, and this honestly makes me feel good. Sitting here and doing my little crafts and talking about little magazine articles and stuff like that, or YouTube videos, because I feel it gives me an outlet and a new path. Sometimes giving yourself an extra path is not always a bad thing. You're always capable of making a new path. It's just like life is just like taking a walk in the metro parks. Now, now I'm ready for my third string. This baby over here. But you go to metro parks, one path is real muddy, you go on another path, then you go on another path. It's kind of what a spiritual voyage is. Just taking a walk down the woods. And you got to find out what path is good for you. You're going to see a creator, depending on which religion you choose. And I just knot the top like this, like I did in Girl Scouts. But, anyways, you accept the path you choose, whatever that is. It could be anything. But you got to be able to accept it. I mean, your inner self, you got to listen to your inner self if that's what your inner self wants. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do is listen to your inner self, really honestly. But that's why I say count yarn or cook. Cooking's an outlet. Some people bake. Some people do sports. Some people sing. Some people dance. Whatever your outlet is, just do it. Just please don't do drugs. Please don't. That's going to block your whatever chi you got. It will be gone. You cannot. Drugs is not good. I mean, except for legal drugs. Like, I think marijuana now is. It's medical. I mean, it has red tape, but at least you know there's dispensaries and you're not going to die from it. You just got to worry about it being laced. So I guess that's okay. Cigarettes, well, you know what I mean. Just don't get on any hard drugs because that will block a spiritual voyage and divert you off a path, and you might meet an untimely death. Then you have to do it all over again. This is all that happens. And who wants that? Because if you accomplish them in this lifetime, the next lifetime you can accomplish something else. Oh, excuse me. And then you have a colossal effect. And then if you're able to learn the lesson in each lifetime, that's even better. I mean, it's a hard thing to do sometimes. It really is. But I find something so intriguing about making something beautiful out of nothing. This is why I like yarn. Just putting all these strings together, braiding them, and sewing them in, I can make something very beautiful. I can repair rugs that were done. I got actually two rugs to repair. Once I finish this, I might see if I have yarn and worry about rug repair for an episode. But just, I mean, it helps you you can literally create something that you never thought you could do. And out of just all this string, all this stuff can happen. And it's just, to me, it's just, it's nice. But this is my thing. And I just like to do it. And I like the braiding of the yarn better. Some people prefer crocheting, some people prefer knitting. I just kind of like this method. And I kind of want to make my curtains this way after I finish this blanket. Because when I get done braiding this, I'll show you the yarn that I'm going to use for my blanket. And I might get another yarn with it and just braid them down. And then I could just like mix and match the colors. I could do that too. And with these, if like when you braid in different colors, you're actually sewing it in different patterns. So you're controlling what pattern you're doing also with these. And it's you're just stringing string and then sewing string and stringing them into a project. It's yarn string theory. I thought that was fun. The scientists out there probably don't. Maybe they do. I'm sure they have a good sense of humor. But the same way I braid the top of the knot top, I knot the bottom. Alright. I got three of these. I'm gonna get my yarn piece out. Alright. Alright. Now I'm going to this a little from this here. I'm gonna knit this two little knots up here. All right, there we go. All right, and you'll know which way to start because this will be like not looking so nice, and that'll be more smooth. You always go on the smoother end because you'll notice one isn't as smooth and nice as the other end. Well, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. And these two knots here, I'm gonna take these and put these together just like this. I'm melding them together and I'm sewing them in. I'm gonna do it when I start with the knot so I have a perfect flush. Because that's what you really want is a nice flush. And you can always trim up when you're done. Because any excess yarn you're just cutting. And however you want or shape is how you're kind of guiding all these different strings. I'm just making mine more circular. That's really all I'm doing. He liked the idea of a table rug, so that's really all I'm doing. I'm just literally making it what I want it to be. You're in charge with when you're doing this kind of art, and it's nice. And you're in charge of length, evening it out, size of your braids. I mean, it's a craft that's nice and easy, and you could create some nice looking things with it. I mean, yarning isn't I did start, I want to say, my late 20s. I started doing this. Some of my stuff didn't turn out as good at first, but it's okay. This is why you practice, and it's okay. This practice makes perfect. Go. And just move it along. And I'm just literally guiding it and coming in and out. And you're using the rows here, grabbing the string and just pulling it. And you just take a couple strings and then pull it out like that. And just move it like that. And that's about all I do. And like I said, just doing 3 rows a day, you can have a project done like this in no time. You just kind of got to have it planned out. I just planned mine out with my stream, honestly. I figure the more time I get to do this, the more I stream because I'm gonna figure it's something that other people want to see. And then you pull it like that, and you want to keep it close to you, and just do the outermost ones so it sits flat. You don't want it not to be flat. If it's not flat, it's not a table rug. And it does look nice. It's a new take on old world's craftsmanship. I mean, the world's shaping up in different ways all the time. And sometimes it's nice to be able to make things. You never know when you're going to have to. I mean, in the Depression, my grandparents had nothing. They started making things. So, and I had the privilege to hang around Depression people. And they knew how to survive. I tell you, they knew how to make their own biscuits from flour. They knew a lot of stuff. People will survive somehow, and they did. People are resilient. It's not the best of times to live with, but you do survive. And the ones that don't survive usually aren't strong ones. And I'm going to close this up, this stitch right here, because I had another knot. But I'm still going to use this because I still have a little bit here. You don't need a lot. I mean, you just cut it and do the same thing. It's actually easier than dealing with a regular needle. Sometimes they're crazy to deal with. You can have, like I said, I'm going to start another string probably over here because there's a gap where this something needs to go here. So that's going to be my next one. So you got to fill in the gaps with a table rug. And you just go over here, and then it'll be a complete circle. And then you just keep adding on like that. And then I combine from knot to knot over here. Put these together and start sewing it right here so it's flush. Because you want to keep it flush and sewn together. That's what this type of yarning is. And I think it's very practical for household use too. See? And then it'll be almost even. Then on that side, I'll start another string this way. I'm just going around in a circle and sewing this. I mean, that's just how easy this is. And I'm literally doing this talking to you guys, so you see it's about an hour. If it takes you a couple weeks, it takes you a couple weeks. I mean, you can unwind and do this. I find it very relaxing. And then a yarn needle is very dull. It's not going to hurt you. You're not going to have to worry about hurting or poking yourself. I mean, I still would keep it away from small dogs or big dogs that like to eat things. I put mine in. I lock my stuff up because I don't want my yarn messed with because he likes to mess with yarn. He finds it exciting. My yarn needles and everything get put aside. Just stay organized with your stuffs, please. If you have animals, don't leave the stuff around because they get the stuff like at a yarn needle caught in their throat, they're dead. And I swear you'll feel very guilty for the rest of your life, and it'll be the saddest funeral you ever went to. It won't be your fault, but you'll feel like shit all the same. So I guess just keep up all your yarn needles. This is why I clean my house like a maniac. I want to make sure my dog isn't getting into things, and I got things put away, and I constantly am throwing away things he don't need to be bothering with, or putting them away in a safe room. I got a spare room I put all my stuff in that he would mess with, or just for storage because you want room. So I guess if you have pets, you kind of want to try to declutter a little bit so they get room to run a little. So I've decluttered my apartment so he can run back and forth because we don't have a house. And I tried to take him on multiple walks, When I leave off the stream, first thing I do is take him outside again. And then we start it all over again. Alright, put this here. We still got one more ready to go. Saying if you have a braid like this, you can do a whole overlay over the knot too and sew it on top. Because if it's not on the flush end and you're keeping all like the stuff down like this down there, no one will even notice on the table rug. And it'll look really professional. Because all those spots that are ugly just get covered up by a braid. Because if you overlap them with another braid and just sew it on top, then you don't have to worry about it. Just you're just worrying about cutting off excess string. And it's not a big deal to cut off excess string. Thus, I'm just going to reinforce this little area and just try to sew this off to kind of cut this off a little so it's not bothering nothing. And I just come in and I'm bringing this together and pulling it. And I think I did good, and then you don't even notice the knot over there. There, flush, and then I'll just cut all this off, and it's just going to keep coming back. I wish it was a little. It was coming like this. I guess you could put something in the middle. Maybe once this is here and the sides are there, you could kind of go like that. I don't know. It was my first try at a table rug, so it is what it is. At least I'm getting through it. I'm gonna cut this and re-thread this. Alright, now I'm taking just this misfit pile of yarn and just grabbing a string from there. I call it the misfit pile. And just stick it in like you would thread. I do embroidery work, but maybe that'll be another day when I get some like when I get I gotta get a sewing kit. I don't have one yet, but maybe when I finish one or two yarn projects, I'll do that. I'll go ahead and get a sewing kit and start some embroidery things. And then I could do an embroidery project and this at the same time. Now, I'm going to have to go on this way. I'm going to start the braid overlapping this end. I want the braided end on all these knots when I'm doing this. 'Cause I don't want the yuckiness. I want the yuckiness not to be there. So I'm going to start just overlapping braids on top of these knots. And then that'll cover them up. Alright. Yeah, it looks very nice. You can't even see that ugly knotted mistake. So I keep coming around here. You see what I mean about creating? You think you have all these ugly ends and you could take the nice braids and you can cover over them and sew them in, and you're going to cut off all that anyway. So you got rid of all that ugliness. And you look like a professional. Because believe me, I'm not a professional. If I'm braiding yarn, I'm not. I'm practical, not professional. This is a practical work. I'm sure there's some Amish people that could give me a run for my money on this because they're very good at this kind of thing. This is something I just do in my spare time. But it looks nice, and I guarantee you that your friends would be like, it would be interesting conversation watching you braid yarn, having some wine or whatever, or some wine and dinner party or whatever you're gonna have, and say, "Oh, I made you this, I made you that. How did you do that? I braided some yarn." And then all your fancy schmancy friends are gonna go, "Oh, that's so beautiful. Where'd you learn to do that?" And I mean, you could say Chong the dog, or you could just say, "Oh, I was watching YouTube. YouTube has just everything." And they do. You want to learn to fix your car? It's on YouTube. YouTube's everywhere. So I try to do my contribution to society by giving you guys an idea to do something fun for your family with my many little projects that keep me busy in my life. And I don't really spend a lot of money because I'm always keep myself busy in other ways. Usually on yarn projects, I like embroidery. I still got that rock thing I was doing. I wanted to put a mural or something on top of it. I thought that would look nice. But I have my little plans for that, and it's going to be another episode because I already did that one where I thought it was a painting. It was not. And then I did a whole background with the little crystal rocks, so I'm going to try to find a picture to put on it. All right, it's coming along. All right, well, there was no one in the stream today, but oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. All right. Ooh, but when you do watch this, thank you for listening. And I will be kind of crafted out right now. So I'm going to end the stream. And, if you want me to respond, I don't really like calling people direct. I'm kind of weirded out about it because there's so many dangerous people in the world. But if you want to speak like through comments and not direct messenger, I would be okay with that. So, I mean, you gotta be careful in this world. So, I'll, take your comment in consideration, and I could talk about it, or we could talk about it on the next episode or something. But I don't really like direct messaging. So, unless I personally know a person, because there's a lot of what ifs out there. So, but anyways, I wish everyone a good day. And I'm going to close up and promote the string. And have a good day.